In 1975, Rush released Caress of Steel, an album that was both mysterious and misunderstood. Buried within it lies a song, The Necromancer, that feels less like a track and more like a myth, a descent, a confrontation. It's a shadow that lives not out in the world, but inside of us. Because The Necromancer isn't just a story about warriors and wizards, it's a story about the human mind. A philosophical tale about confronting the unknown and awakening through darkness. The song opens with a voice echoing across a barren landscape. In the misty morning, on the edge of time. But this isn't just fantasy. It's psychology in disguise. The mist symbolizes confusion, the fog of our unconsciousness. The edge of time represents the threshold between what we know and what we fear to know. It's here that the Necromancer reigns, not as a villain of swords and spells, but as the archetype of the shadow, a concept described by psychologist Carl Jung. The shadow is the dark side of our psyche, the repressed, denied, unacknowledged parts of ourselves, waiting, watching, and calling out to us. And who are the adventurers in this tale? They are us, the fragments of the self, seeking light, yet somehow drawn into the dark. As the travelers step into the Necromancer's realm, the music slows down. It becomes cold, echoing, almost hypnotic. The guitars whisper like ancient warnings. This is the sound of repression, of the ego's resistance. In philosophy, you could think of this as Plato's cave, where we mistake shadows for reality. In psychology, it's plain old denial, our refusal to look at the uncomfortable truths that define us. The Necromancer isn't evil. He is the truth we refuse to see. He represents the knowledge that terrifies us, because once we see it, we can't unsee it. It makes you wonder, how many times in our own lives have we run from the mirror? Not because of what it might hide, but because of what it might reveal. The adventurers are captured, bound in darkness, and the voice narrates their fate in a tone that is both mechanical and divine. This moment mirrors Nietzsche's idea of eternal recurrence, the feeling of being trapped in cycles of our own making. Repeating mistakes, thoughts, and fears, again and again. In modern terms, this is the loop of anxiety, the grip of the ego, the illusion of society. We scroll, we consume, we perform, all while the Necromancer smiles in silence. Because the real prison isn't built from walls, it's built from avoidance. And the longer we avoid our darkness, the more power it gains over us. Then, the tone shifts. The bass line comes alive. The guitars surge with a newfound hope. A hero appears. By the name of Prince Baitor. Now, if you know your Rush lore, you'll remember that Baitor, in an earlier song, was the villain. And now he's the savior. What a brilliant inversion. It tells us that the parts of ourselves we once feared, the parts we rejected, can become our greatest strength. Integration, not destruction, is the true path to freedom. Jung would call this process individuation, becoming whole by reconciling the opposites within us. Even the name Necromancer, one who speaks to the dead, gains a powerful new meaning. Perhaps the dead are simply our forgotten selves, our lost memories, the lives we never lived, and to speak with them is to heal. As the final section bursts open with light, with complex drumming, layered guitars, and a sense of sonic catharsis, we hear the triumph not of war, but of awakening. This is enlightenment, as Rush understood it. It's not about finding peace, but about gaining awareness. The Necromancer fades away, the darkness retreats, but we realize something profound. He was never truly gone. He lives within us, eternally, as part of the self. This echoes the Taoist concept of yin and yang, light and shadow, life and death, forever inseparable. Without the Necromancer, there can be no hero. Without the shadow, there is no light. Today, the Necromancer wears a different mask. He lives in our screens, in our social media echo chambers, in our quiet addictions, and our carefully curated illusions. We're surrounded by more light than ever before, and yet we are more blinded than ever. The algorithm is our new enchantment. Our attention is the new currency for our soul. But the Necromancer reminds us of a timeless truth. The real danger is not darkness itself, It is forgetting that it is a part of us. Perhaps the cure is not to escape, but to encounter. Not to erase our demons, but to learn their names. And so the story ends, not with a conquest, but with a deeper understanding. Through myth and melody, Rush taught us that the real hero's journey is always inward. The Necromancer was never the enemy. He was the test, the mirror, the call to awaken. So the next time you listen to The Necromancer, I want you to close your eyes, step into the mist, and ask yourself, what shadow is still waiting for me to face it? Thanks for watching. If this video gave you something to think about, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the music and ideas that shape us. See you in the next one.